I don't like Hamza.
Yeah.
It's the first time.
I hope so.
I
That would be quite problematic, huh, Vijay? I loved him. That's why I just said yes to it. Sadly, what's happened right now is
Yeah.
everyone's equating numbers to the quality of the film.
Yeah.
And I feel like I love the fact that everyone's talking about various scenes about it,
Yeah.
writing about performances.
Like
and
how
it's
we
just-
discussed movies before.
Yeah.
The first audition that I gave in Bombay when I came was for Three Idiots.
Wow.
At that time, they were looking for youngsters to kind of play these parts. So when you take those decisions and you go against your family and their idea of what is good for you, you figure out what is good for you.
Hello, Vijay. Finally, long overdue.
Jammy Pants,
Oh,
my
God.
old friend.
Don't say that. Okay. But
I'm
congratulations.
going to stick to your Doon school name.
Yeah. Let's stick to that. But congratulations. And I feel like fully deserved. For me, the highlight of the film as well.
Thank you.
I'm seeing you on Twitter reply back to all the memes and like the things that people are talking about.
I had to do something on Twitter. I've been on Twitter for 10 years and I realized I just go there to write thank you. Every film comes out and I'm like, जो भी मेरे बारे में कुछ अच्छा लिखा है, they should not feel ignored, and I just say thank you.
Yeah. No, that seems very engaging also because the memes are genuinely funny.
Yeah.
So with Hamza, so I wanted to first of all like ask you this also because I was reading like in one of the videos Alia was like replying back to comments and stuff. She did say that you were a little like worried or a little skeptical about what the reactions would be with a character like Hamza. But for me, like you've played the wild sadistic character the best, whether it be Pink, whether it be she.
Yeah.
So what was the like sort of like worry in your head?
There were two big moments of great worry. One, when I read the script for the first
Yeah.
time, I'm like, मुझे क्यों सोचा इस
Yeah.
रोल के लिए, please. It's a fabulous script.
It is.
It's a radical thought. Nobody has ever written something like this, or from my understanding of whatever little cinema I have seen, the story spoke to me. And I wanted to be a part of it, but I didn't want to play this part, man. I just felt like, it's not easy to be this guy and do the job for 2-3 months. When we're shooting that, it's going to be relentless, and I can't do this half-ass.
Yeah.
If I do this, then I have to go into it.
Yeah, fully.
If that means that I be in a certain state of mind or imbibe this personality, which I detest. I don't like Hamza.
Yeah.
It's the first time.
I hope so. That would be quite problematic, huh, Vijay? I loved him. That's why I just said yes to it. No. Good.
No, so I've done characters which I dislike to a certain extent, and yet I find some way to kind of attain some similarity, something, some common play field. But this one I just didn't like.
Yeah.
I hate it. I'm using the strong word here. I didn't like the guy. I hated him, and yet I had to find something in me to kind of go and do this job. So I rest career वरियर सब side में रख के बोल रहा है artist की सुन अंदर की करना है. And when I saw the film for the first time, that's when the worry came back in, because the first few minutes are not easy to watch, and I was like, I was literally probably like shivering and my hands were sweaty and cold and all that, and Alia caught that and she was like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, I don't know. I don't feel good. I don't know. Something is off. Like, what happened? Like, I don't know how I'll be received.
Yeah.
It was a genuine concern because I felt like मैं TV बंद कर दूँगा.
Yeah.
मैं नहीं देख सकता इस आदमी को.
Can I ask though, like, this is like just my personal curiosity. Did you, was it a straight offer or did you like audition for it? What was that process like?
So the call came from Alia's
Okay.
manager and they said, "We're sending you a script, read, Alia's excited about this one." Then I read and I didn't have to test for this one. Although I did record few scenes, I wanted to do an exercise with just me because I wanted to understand the effect of alcohol and how to play it on screen. I've never played a drunk on screen and I didn't want to ham or I didn't want to do something that is not authentic.
Yeah.
So we did that exercise. We did 3 scenes and then I drank And then we did those 3 scenes again under the influence of alcohol, and turned out that I'm complete misfit for Hamza because I
Okay.
was constantly laughing,
Okay.
and I was.
So you're a happy drunk, huh?
I'm really a happy high guy.
Yeah.
And I don't have. I'm a
Yeah.
lightweight,
Mhm.
like ultra lightweight,
Yeah.
one can say. And with age, I'm getting even lighter. Like I have couple of beers and I'm getting a headache the next
Yeah.
morning. It's just not sitting too well with my body, and I'm smiling a
Mhm.
lot more than I am if I'm drunk. So clearly that didn't help. Although we found out that there is a certain kind of a delay
Okay.
that comes when I'm speaking.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
So we kept that.
Mm.
We kept that, and the rest of it I just had to kind of understand how to do it.
Understand it.
We kept it under, like we kept it, the drunk part little under.
Because
That's
I
all.
feel like one of my favorite sequences on just the level of detailing that went into the writing was the moment you enter, Alia's almost sort of natural reflexes to go to the fridge,
Yeah.
put the glass,
Yeah.
put the ice,
Yeah.
just so that you're ready.
Yeah.
And I feel like when I was thinking about some of the, personally what I loved was most of the interaction was in that house. And the skirmishes that were happening, say the heel scene or you even biting into a bone in that biryani, in the process I wanted to understand the physical altercations that you're doing. Is it free reign or is it well choreographed to the point of you're going to pull her here, you're going to push her there,
Yeah.
and that's when we say cut, or it's almost free reign to see how you guys interact with each other and we'll call cut when we have to?
No, I like any kind of physical contact between actors to be choreographed.
Yeah.
As a policy, because I feel like mistakes can happen, injuries can happen, people can feel inappropriate, anything. This is very, this has a lot of its own
Mhm.
memory.
Yes.
And the body has a lot of its own signs, and a lot of triggers can be felt. Like from my own experience, I'll tell you, when I was tied down for 15-20 days of the shoot, I remember feeling so angry inside. I was furious and I didn't have any outlet to express it, because internally I was very angry. I was like, I don't like this, man. I wish I could move. My neck is hurting. And yet I had to be this professional because I can't be rude to anybody. So I kept it all inside me, and it turned into great sadness, and I was constantly sad. And yet I had to play this. So I remember that, your body can actually make you feel a lot of things. And we were mindful, and everything was choreographed. I used to be extra careful in the places where I am raising my hand. And fortunately for me, we didn't have too many impacts on screen
Yeah.
from me to her. There were a few, so I was saved there. And Alia, again, like she owned it. Like
Yeah.
she just went for it. She knew that, between both of us, there's great deal of trust and respect. So, so it was clear. Like I'll say, I'm going to grab your shoulder and I'm going to move my arm to your neck. Okay,
Yeah.
are you okay with this kind of a grip, or you go softer?
Yeah.
And this kind of discussion was constantly happening between both of us.
Physical, sort of like the physical space, out of that, what I loved about the writing was, and my favorite scene was you constantly gaslighting her, like especially the scene in the jail.
Yeah.
This almost Hamza's need to constantly butter her up after the abuse.
Yeah.
Was it all on paper?
It-
And is that a rarity?
All on paper, yes. Rarity, yes. And yet, Jasmeet is one of those directors who's waiting for some kind of a, if you have something, she's eager
Yeah.
to grab onto it. Like I felt like the promise of changing was real.
Yeah.
Somewhere he was in a place where like मेरे साथ बहुत कुछ बुरा हो जाएगा तो शायद मैं सुधर जाऊँगा.
Yeah.
I bought that story and I played that.
Yeah.
And like that Babu भी जेल गए थे.
Yeah.
मैं कौन हूँ?
I love the sort of balance of absurdity and yet being so real. The writing caught it so well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
yeah.
laughed so hard when I read that part. I'm like, बापू भी जेल गए थे, मैं कौन हूँ?
And
He's
Alia's
comparing-
reaction to it also, it's
कौन
like,
वो?
हाँ,
धोबी?
वो-
गांधी जी
too
की।
good, too good. You know what I loved also is that I feel like Netflix or just the OTT space was like a perfect home for this kind of film, because the chatter is around the content of the film. Sadly, what's happened right now is
Yeah.
everyone's equating numbers to the quality of the film.
Yeah.
And I feel like I love the fact that everyone's talking about various scenes about it,
Yeah.
writing about performances.
Like
and
how
it's
we
just-
discussed movies before.
Yeah, and it's not that anymore.
It's
And
not that anymore.
over to better things, and like something that I really am curious about, because I've never asked you this. What like sort of made you fall in love with acting? I've realized that from Hyderabad to FTII to Mumbai has been a long journey, an
Yeah.
arduous one, I'm sure also. But what made you fall in love with it?
I don't know the precise moment. Of course, there was fixation or a certain kind of a fancy I took to what I saw on big screen.
Mhm.
How are people this pretty? How are they able to do these things? How are these people singing so well? I didn't know there's a back playback singer singing for them. I was
Yeah.
like, Salman Khan kitna अच्छा गाना गाता है.
Yeah.
So that was the draw, and I guess when I started to dabble in modeling just a bit in Hyderabad, and I kind of enjoyed being in a magazine or in a newspaper. It was a bit of a fun, but I found out that it's just wearing clothes and posing, and that's not like very early, like maybe 2 months of doing that kind of a job. I figured कि इसमें मेरे को मज़ा नहीं आएगा
Yeah.
long run में. It's only when I did theatre, I read the plays, and first couple of months I felt like मैं 15 साल मैंने क्या पढ़ाई किया. It taught me nothing, and a Chekhov play taught me great deal about life, you know. So it just completely like opened my mind. So it was basically an escape from life, living in a fantasy.
And you came to Mumbai which year?
I came to Mumbai in 2008.
2008. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's been a good 14 years.
14 years now.
Now. Wow.
I'm a
And-
veteran here.
Veteran here now. And I wanted to understand this from you, because I've always curious about actors and their relationship with Mumbai. It's a tough city,
Uh-huh.
especially when you're like finding your bearings. Are you a lone wolf? Is there a sense of support that you had, or you've been a person who's just been persistent all his life?
I fairly feel like I have a bit of a drifter loner
Mhm.
thing going, because I live by myself here in Bombay, and I've been living alone for years now. And although there is great deal of support from people who work with me or people who are working for me, and at the same time I have this community of people I've come to Bombay with from the
Mhm.
film school. So that's my kind of inner circle.
Yeah.
And those are the people who will not mince words when they have to
They're real.
say something about what I did. And those are the people I invited for my special screening.
Mhm.
कि बता दो भाई, खुले में बता दो एक बार. So they were like, no, it's all good.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not really like fixed to the idea of like making or not making friends, but I just feel like it's your life, and you have to kind of figure out how you want to lead it and what work you want to do.
Yeah.
And I'm not the personality that will wait for somebody else to say कि this is good for you or not. I feel like I made choices. I ran away from home.
Mhm.
And that's a brave choice for a guy who never went outside home alone,
Yeah.
even for a trip outstation. So when you take those decisions and you go against your family and their idea of what is good for you, you figure out what is good for you.
Mhm.
And then you trust your own instincts and your own, the voice inside you that leads you.
Yeah.
So therefore I don't believe in the idea of godfathers.
Yeah.
Because are you a puppy? Like
Completely
who
dependent
needs-
on them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't even, I mean, I have important, powerful people who are working with me here and there, but I still like, I decide what I want to do.
Yeah.
And I will not hear anything else.
And 14 years, Vijay, it is a long time to like have a constant reminder of having belief in yourself.
Yeah.
I feel like, you've had experiences of doing many tests and I'm sure auditioned in several projects. There have been projects, I'm sure, in your life and journey where it was almost there, but you
Yeah.
couldn't get it.
अरे मैंने पहले ही अपनी फिल्म सेलिब्रेट कर ली थी. I met this director. I was-
Chittagong?
No, that film never got made anyway. So somebody called me, a prolific ad filmmaker, a film with John Abraham, and it was a 6 or 5 boys story, and I was one of the boys in the big ticket budget film and stuff like that. I got one of the parts, a good part. Signing money आया, घर जाके पैसा हो रहा है, party दे दिया दोस्तों को, and then the film never took off.
Oh God.
And there have been instances like that. I remember the first audition that I gave in Bombay when I came was for 3 Idiots.
Wow.
At that time, they were looking for youngsters to kind of play these parts. And that's been, I've also tested for Milkha. I was in the running for Milkha. And stuff like that has happened.
So in that same space, Vijay, so, you know, self-belief, facing rejection, I feel like what's the constant reminder as an individual, because it psychologically takes a toll on you,
Yeah,
I'm sure.
But you can always look at the bright side of things. If you are not even considered, from being considered to being in the running, to being in the top 2,
that's true,
was a progress that I saw coming my way. And I was like happy that at least this much I've covered the ground. I didn't know how things work. So, and that naivety worked in my favor because I just was optimistic ki maybe this is good, maybe next time something will happen.
You know, in the roles that you've done, especially in your early half of the career, something that I've been most interested to see, because I watched it again, was Middle Class Abhay.
Oh.
And was it interesting to go back to Hyderabad, shoot there, see the industry there, and that experience, how was that?
It was interesting because it's my hometown. My entire family was there. I had kids, mothers, sisters, buas, everybody coming to the set and spending time in my vanity van and saying hello to all the co-actors I was working with. So that was interesting. And I did MCA out of sheer anger. Because I remember Pink came out and everybody wanted to put me in a car with a girl, in a room with a girl, or bhabhi or whatever, just like some kind of a
villain or antagonist.
Do something terrible to a woman and sexually. So I just like got repulsed with the idea of the typecasting that I was facing. And in comes a director from South, and he said, "I love you in Pink. I have a role to offer you, main villain in my film." I'm like, "Sir, before you go ahead about this, is it like another lech or a rapist kind of a character?" He's like, "No, he doesn't even talk to women."
The best. Yes, right now. Too good.
He doesn't even talk to women. He doesn't know how to talk to women. So he just talks to his mother. I'm like, perfect. I'll play this villain, sir.
No, it is very entertaining. And I have to say that, you know, having experienced like both the things, do you want to dabble into doing more like Telugu cinema?
I'm interested in doing great stories.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter language,
medium,
platform, scale. All the work that I have done are challenges thrown at me. I did not really like pursue any of them.
Yeah.
It's just been coming. And I'm interested in the way people perceive me. I am interested in a director who sees me in a new light, like Sujoy for the next film, Devotion of Suspect X. Saw me in a light that nobody else saw me. And I'm doing something that I've not done before.
Yeah.
I can't tell anything about it, but it's fascinating because I gave 4 months to just get ready for that film.
I love the fact that an OTT space has been almost like, I love to see the kind of series that you've done, from A Suitable Boy to OK Computer. Has this also been like a lease of life in some way, these avenues that have opened up for you?
I can't imagine going through this pandemic without watching what was coming on the streamers. Because I mean, I remember giving up on television years ago in terms of watching.
Yeah.
So if that wasn't there, I remember the entire world was stuck in their households, and yet we found refuge in the stories.
Yeah.
And I was readily available on these streamers, which is a boon.
And you were regular, so, you know.
Yeah, I had a busy 2020. I remember I had 7 releases.
No, it was epic, honestly.
Like project that I'd done years ago found a way to kind of come out.
Yeah. I also have to ask you, I ask this to many actors, is you've experienced several mediums in the Hindi space. What is, say, the biggest gripe or one thing that you would want to change in the processes of filmmaking, of projects materializing, something that you feel like should be a good change?
I feel like we need like how the Academy has members and they vote on how they rank film for what they like about it or not. And it seems like a genuine process. Seems like a process that is well oiled and machinery. And I would say like anybody who's been part of the industry should also have an organization such as that, and there should be a celebration of right kind of stories and artists for that year.
Because it would break my heart if Vijay Varma wins Best Villain, OTT, Darlings.
I mean, I haven't yet won an award,
No,
so
no.
I would be
You'll go
surprised.
there, run over there and take it straight away.
I would be surprised if I win an award.
Yeah. No, you deserve one. This was epic. This was honestly amazing, and I can't wait to see more and more. And it was honestly, again, lovely to talk with you again.
Absolute pleasure.
And thank you for just being so kind, and he's a great guy, dude. So yeah, thank you again.
Thank
So,
you,
yeah,
Anmol.
Thanks.